Rat Burger by David Walliams. This is Chapter 5, Droppings. Zoe trudged even more resolutely than usual to school the next morning. Ginger Nut was dead, and with her dreams had died too. As Zoe walked out of the estate, Tina flopped on the little girl's head, as she always did, as she was whipping and flopped out of her frizzy hair with a page ripped from one of her exercise books. Zoe saw Dad crouched over by the tiniest patch of grass. He appeared to be digging with his hands. He turned around quickly as if in shock. "Oh, hello, my love. What are you doing?" said Zoe. She leaned over him to see what he was up to, and saw that the little package container Ginger Nut was laid onto the ground next to the small mound of earth. Don't tell your stepmum, but I finished the little fella out of the bin." "Oh, Dad!" Shudder's still asleep, snoring away. "I don't think she heard anything. Ginger Nut meant so much to you, and I just wanted to give him, you know, a proper burial." Zoe smiled for a moment, but somehow she found herself crying too. "Oh, Dad, thank you so much." "No word of this to her, though, or she'll murder me." "Of course not." Zoe knelt down beside him, picked up the little package, and lowered Ginger Nut in the small hole her father had dug. "I even got one of these for a headstone, one of the lollipop sticks from the factory." Zoe took out her chewed biro from her pocket and scribbled Ginger Nut on the stick, though there wasn't really some room for the T, so it just read Ginger Nut. Dad filled in the hole, and they stood back and looked at the little grave. "Thanks, Dad. You are the best." Now Dad was crying. "What's the matter?" asked Zoe. "I'm not the best. I'm sorry, Zoe, but I will get another job one day. I know I will." "Dad, a job doesn't matter. I just want you to be happy." "I want you to see me like this." "I don't want you to see me like this." Dad stared, walking away. Zoe pulled on his arm, but she took it out of her grasp and walked off to the tower block. "Come and meet me at school gates later, Dad. We can go to the park and you can put me on your shoulders. I used to love that. I don't cost a thing." "Sorry, I'll be in the pub." "Have a good day at school," he shouted without looking back. He was hiding his sadness from his daughter like he always did. Zoe could feel her stomach screaming in hunger. There had to be no dinner last night, as Sheila had spent all her benefit money on fags, and there was no food in the house. Zoe hadn't eaten for a very long time, so she stopped off the Raj's news agent. All the kids from school went to his shop before or after school. As Zoe never received pocket money, she would only come in the shop and gazed longingly at the sweets. Being exceptionally kid-hearted, Raj offered to took pity on the girl and gave her free ones. Only the out-of-date ones, though, or those with a head of mould. But she was still grateful. Sometimes she would be allowed to quick suck on a mint before Raj asked her to spit it out, so he could put it back in the packet to sell it to another customer. This morning Zoe was especially hungry and was hoping Raj would help. Ting went the bell as the door opened. Ah, Miss Zoe, my favourite customer. Raj was a big jolly man who always had a smile on his face, even if you told him his shop was on fire. Hello, Raj, said Zoe sheepishly. I don't have any money again today, I'm afraid. Not a penny? Nothing, sorry. Oh dear, but you do look hungry. A quick nibble on one of those chocolate bars, perhaps? He picked up a bar and unwrapped it for her. Just try and eat around the edge, please. Then I can't, sorry guys, then I can't put it in the wrapper and back on sale. The next customer will never know. Zoe nibbled greedily on the chocolate bar, her front teeth munching on the edges like a little rodent. Whoa, guys, this chapter goes on for ages. I better get reading. You look very sad, child, said Raj. He was always good at spotting when things were wrong and could be a lot more caring than some parents or teachers. Have you been crying? Zoe looked up from her nibbling for a moment, her eyes still starring with tears. No, I'm fine, Raj, just hungry. No, Miss Zoe, I can see something wrong when something is wrong. He leaned on the counter and smiled supportively at her. Zoe took a deep breath. My hamster died. Oh, Miss Zoe, I am so sorry. Thank you. You poor thing. A few years ago I had a pet tadpole and it died, so I know how you feel. Zoe looked surprised. A pet tadpole? She had never heard of anyone having one as a pet. Yes, I called him Papadom. One night I left him swimming around in his little fishbowl, and when I woke up in the morning, there was this naughty frog there. He must have eaten Papadom. Zoe couldn't quite believe what she was hearing. Raj, yes? The news agent wiped a tear from his eye with the sleeves of his cardigan. Sorry, I always get quite emotional when I think about Papadom. Raj, tadpoles turn into frogs. Don't be stupid, child. They do. So that frog was Papadom. I know you're just trying to make me feel better, but I don't know it's true. But I don't know it's not true. So Zoe rolled her eyes. Now telling me about your hamster. He is, was so special. I trained him to break bounce. Whoa! What was his name? Ginger Nut, said Zoe sadly. My dreams was that one day he would be on TV. Raj for a moment and then looked Zoe straight in the eyes. "You must never give up on your dreams, young lady. But Ginger Nut is dead. But your dream doesn't need to die. Dreams never die if you can train a hamster to breakdance." "Miss Zoe, just imagine what you could do." "I suppose." Raj looked at his watch. "But as much as I would like to, we can't stand here chattering all day." "No?" Zoe loved even if he, now a tadpole turned into a frog, and never wanted to leave his messy little shop. "You better off to school now, young lady." "You don't want to be late." "I suppose so," mumbled Zoe sometimes. She wondered why she didn't just bunk off like so many of the others. Raj beckoned with his big hands. "Now, Miss Zoe, give me the chocolate bar, please, so I can put it back on sale." Zoe looked at her hands. It had gone. She was so hungry and had devoured every last morsel save of one tiny square. "I am so sorry, Raj. I didn't mean to. I really didn't." I know, said the kindly man. "Just put it in the wrapper. I can sell it as a special diet chocolate to someone fat like me." "Good idea," said the little girl. Zoe went over to the door and turned around to face the newsagent. "Thank you, by the way, not just the chocolate bar, but for the advice. Both free of charge for you any time, Miss Zoe. Now run along." Raj's words went round and round in Zoe's mind all day at school, but when she returned home to the flat, she felt the same sense of absence. Ginger Nut was gone forever. Days went by, then weeks, then months. She could never forget about Ginger Nut. He was such a special little hamster, and he brought her so much joy in the world of pain from her moment he died. Zoe felt as if she was walking through a storm. Very slowly, as the days and weeks passed, the rain became a little lighter, though the sun had still not shone. Until one night, months later, when something completely unexpected happened. Zoe was lying in bed after another insufferable day at school, at the hands of the bullies, and dreaded Tina Trots in particular. There was shouting from the next door as usual. Then, of a brief moment of quiet in the night became a tiny sound. It was so soft at first, it was almost imperceptible. Then it became louder and louder. It sounded like nibbling. "I am dreaming," thought Zoe. "I am having one of those strange dreams that I am lying in bed awake." She opened her eyes. No, she wasn't dreaming. Something small was moving in her bedroom for a mad moment. Zoe wondered if it could be a ghost of Ginger Nut. Lately, she'd found a couple of what seemed like droppings in her room. "No, don't be crazy," she told herself. "Must be funny. Shan't. Glump of dust. That's all." At first, all she could see was tiny shadows. Shape in the corner by the door, she tiptoed out of bed to have a closer look. It was a little dirty and a tad smelly. The dusty floorboards creaked a little under her weight. The tiny thing turned around. It was a rat. So guys, that's the end of that chapter 5. What was it called again? Droppings. Yeah, so it's apparently a rat. Pretty good. The next chapter is chapter 6, rat attack tat. Okay, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.